Hello everyone, I'm Coolguy, welcome back. It's been about a week, I've been very sick, I'm feeling a little bit better, sorry for the delay in content, I don't want to bother you with any of that, but today I want to talk about Redrix's broadsword. Now is a perfect time to talk about it actually. I do have some PC comparisons in this video. I do play console mostly, and that's most of the gameplay that you're going to see. Now this is going to be more PvP focused, it is a PvP pinnacle weapon. If you're close to finishing this quest, now is the time to tough it out. We're kind of in this in-between space, and at the end of the month they do Valor weekends to help you out even more. The Redrix is something that you're going to want in your back pocket when ShadowKeep launches. As a high impact pulse rifle, the Crucible, these do 33 to the head and 20 to the body. They were doing 29 to the head in the start of Destiny 2, so slowly they're getting a tad bit better. Now, there were reports coming out of packs that high impact pulses are doing 34 to the head and 22 to the body. Currently, if you land all shots within a burst, it's 99 damage because it does 33. With the potential buff, that goes up to 102, and 2 bursts is 204. The body shot damage currently does 60 per burst at 20 per bullet, so with the buff it goes to 66 per body shot with your burst. This buff does two things, and it's a small buff to them, but this sets them up to be more competitive in ShadowKeep, and at least it's going to make players think about using Redrix. Let's be clear though, the Redrix now currently isn't a pushover, it can shred. If you, the user, are accurate, or you're landing headshot final blows for cleanups, then you're going to proc Outlaw and Desperado. Once you reload with Outlaw, Desperado increases your rate of fire from 340 to 540. The catch with that is it keeps that same high impact damage. It does incredibly well. When you proc Desperado, you can proc it again. With its duration, its ease of use skyrockets. You mow everything, and the new time to kill is 0.47 seconds. If you land all those headshots, and when you miss, even if it takes 3 or 4 bursts, that's okay because you still have that fire rate going. The first thing about this buff is that currently you cannot 3 burst to the body. You need 10 bullets to do that. Remember, there's a delay in between each burst, and for that 10th bullet to land, you have that delay getting to the 4th burst. With the potential body damage buff, you can 3 burst to the body, 22 per bullet, 66 per burst. If all 9 bullets register, that's 198 damage. And remember that number 198, we're gonna come back to that. Before, 9 bullets would do 180 damage. You can't do anything with that. Now the second thing is that these high impacts now reward precision, and you need to be going for precision. If you aren't going for headshot final blows, you're not gonna see the true benefits of Redrix. At that point, it's well below average, you should be using something else. For you to hit its very fast and appealing 0.67 TTK, you need to land 2 direct bursts, all 6 bullets to the head. So here's how the numbers work out and how they will work out with this potential buff. As we talked about, currently you need to land 2 bursts to the head, 6 bullets at 33 apiece. That does 198 damage. There's that 198 again, the new 3 burst body TTK for Redrix, and all high impact pulses. The issue with 198 now is with 100% accuracy, as the optimal 0.67 TTK with 2 full bursts landed with 100% accuracy, is that max resilience survives that. That OEM Titan laughs that off, he kind of winks at you with his one eye. With the new damage going to 34, that's 102 per burst, and 2 bursts is 204. That downs max resilience, that's good. And it's all because of that little extra damage, but it also allows you to potentially hit 5 crit 1 body to hit that 0.67 TTK. That's going to be 192 damage, 6 resilience or less. And that does happen. Look no further than literally the last game I played. No telling what resilience this player was, but hunters are usually fairly squishy in the resilience department. This probably would have downed him. When you look back at it, I hit body, critical, and then all 3 criticals. And when I downed him, that final blow would have been a headshot, proccing Outlaw, then getting Desperado ripping. But instead, I have to fire a 3rd burst with a delay, I don't hit the final headshot, and ultimately it took me longer and I didn't get the perk out of it. So yes, it will change things. Things like this happen way more than you think, so this buff is great for them. Back in Destiny 1, high impacts were doing 38 to the head and 26 to the body, so the ease of use isn't at that level, but these are getting better. Your whole goal is to 2 burst your opponent, 1 body shot, 5 crit, that gets that 0.67 TTK, then you proc Desperado, and when you're in Desperado, you can duel literally any weapon in the game at mid-range. And of course, we aren't talking about shotguns or fusion rifles. And I'm not sure if you watching right now have the Recluse, but Master of Arms has a TTK of 0.47 seconds. And even if you don't have it, you've probably been downed by it. You know that it melts. Whether you're the user or the one getting mowed down, you know that Master of Arms on the Recluse has a very fast TTK. And that is the same exact TTK you get with Desperado, but you have a lot more range with it. That's kind of how you want to look at it. And you also apply a massive amount of flinch with how fast that you shoot. And what I've been doing recently is pairing Redrix with the Recluse, and Recluse could possibly catch a nerf, who knows, with the next sandbox update, but it works out perfectly. After I get my headshot final blow, I'm searching with Desperado. If someone rushes me, I switch to Master of Arms Recluse. It's really nice. Before I get into the roles that I recommend, they are different for PC and console. I play console, and while playing on PC, I play against players with ace spare rations. You're very accurate with mouse and keyboard, and I played against numerous players that just 3-tap consistently with spare rations or ace or hand cannons. When you look at the overall usage across game modes, as an example, we'll take survival. On console, the top 5 kinetics are going to be Revoker, Dustrock, Bygones, Last Word, and Outbreak, and on PC, the top kinetics are ace with 52% usage, the Last Word at 22%, and then spare ration. Those are the only 3 that are listed. And for energy, you see Luna on both sides, but the main thing is going to be the hand cannon usage. The point is, and we discussed it not too long ago, that hand cannons on console act differently than on PC. Console players miss for a variety of reasons, accuracy, bloom, and that isn't to say that you can't be dominant with a hand cannon on console, because you can be. It's just that pulse rifles are way more forgiving and pretty much are going to be great at most of your engagement distances on any given PvP map. And as far as hand cannons on console, the ones that you mostly see are those precision frames, because they don't act like the other hand cannons. But even then, when dueling with another hand cannon user on console, precision frame or not, you can be alright with Redrix.
1 minute. Time to prove yourself.
Anything can happen in a gunfight, but the main question, and people have asked me, and I know you've seen it before, are these going to be meta? And honestly, I can't say that. Will they be better? Yes, 110% they will be better than they are right now, obviously. But we don't know what is actually going to be within that ShadowKeep sandbox. We don't know what weapons are going to get buffed or nerfed, what new weapons are going to be doing to the meta, and regardless of all that, these high impacts are going to be in a better place than where they are right now. That's a good blanket buff to all of them. And side note, you can do well with them currently, and they're going to be better than they are right now. And Redrix really is in its own class, and that's why I wanted to make this and talk about this, to push you to the finish line if you're close. And even if you haven't started the quest, it'll take a lot of grinding, but you get a lot of help at the end of the month. At least try to get there. I have a nice moving target kill clip Einstein D, and it's never gonna hold a candle to Redrix. That is so dominant in its RPM class. Rampage and kill clip don't hold a candle to Desperado. It is that elite. It's just above and beyond better than them. And just in case all this goes through, for what they saw in the PAX build of getting a little extra damage, Redrix could potentially be up there, but again, we don't know what's going to happen in the sandbox. So as far as roles, I'm pretty firm on always wanting ricochet rounds on Redrix in that middle column, regardless of PC or console. It gives +10 to stability, +5 to range, and it gives you that hidden zoom factor for even more range, and you want that out of the gate with its very close, locked-in, stock, short zoom scope. Ricochet rounds helps its engagement distance greatly. On PC, you have much less recoil, you want to spec for range, and your ideal role is going to be something similar to this. Ricochet with the range masterwork. For the barrel, full bore is okay, even though it gives you -10 to stability. I have a 68 stability stat right here on PC shooting at this wall, and you're fine. It doesn't get away from you like it does on console, even while you're in Desperado. And even here with that 68 range on PC paired with that ricochet range bump, you still hit max damage at some really nice engagement distances. Small bore is really good as well, +7 to range, +7 to stability, best of both worlds. And in the background here briefly is actually my first ever M&K gameplay I've ever posted. And note that I'm very new to it, borderline trash at it, that's alright though. We're always learning and trying to get better. But the engagement distance paired with how little recoil you have is amazing with Redrix. At least I think so, and when you get in Desperado, you really start shredding. I was having a really good time using it over on PC, and I'm not sure why you don't really see it over there, but maybe you might start seeing it when ShadowKeep comes. Now on console, it isn't like that. The burst kicks more, you want to lessen that, you want ricochet of course for the reason I mentioned earlier, but you do want a stability masterwork instead, and for the barrel, you want to focus on stability again with small bore or polygonal rifling. Polygonal gives you a flat +10 to stability, but personally I believe that small bore etches it out as the winner for +7 to range and +7 to stability. On PC, Redrix is fairly tame, even in Desperado, as I said, just some light recoil control. That's going to do the trick to keep it steady, but as far as a couple tips for console, as I've talked about in videos before, you can control the burst of a pulse rifle. Put a little bit of down tension as you shoot, it's going to make the burst go straight. You're kind of flicking the recoil down, because naturally what happens when you shoot, the burst rises up. The better stability that you have, that's how far that burst is going to rise up. So if you have really high stability, really good stability, the less it rises up, the tighter the grouping it's going to have. But when you're applying that down tension to keep the burst level, to keep it straight, it's making those 3 bullets go in a straight line. It allows you to hit longer, more precise shots while you're in your engagements. And it's also fighting and combating flinch at the same exact time. It's a win-win. So definitely do those in your gunfights, whether you're using Bygones, Blast Furnace, whatever it is. On console, definitely. I did get the Claymore when it came out. I put a lot of time into it. I have about almost 3,000 PvP kills with it. I loved it then, I love it now. I think it's a great weapon. It's always been a great weapon. But with Redrix, you have to make it work for you. You have to get Desperado going. If you don't, it's below average. The Einstein I talked about earlier with moving target kill clip, it's going to be a better option. However, if you do what the weapon wants you to do, you're going to start mowing down a section and you're going to catch a lot of people off guard. I'm not sure the last time you played against a broadsword or a claymore, but if you ever hear that burst just firing fast and that pulse going off, you want to wait about 5 or 6 seconds. You don't want to get in that thing's line. And that's what's nice with this potential buff. If you land all 3 bullets on a burst, that's 102 damage. It's a nightmare peak shot weapon. It's a nightmare team shot weapon. It always has been. And when you get that cleanup, that's when you're something to fear. So in conclusion, if that damage buff is true, it's going to be a lot better. As far as meta, time's going to tell. We need to see the full sandbox. We can see the patch notes. We don't know what's going to get buffed or nerfed. That PAX build, they had placeholder names, they had numerous other things that were weird and off, so time's gonna tell. I did want to talk about it, and it feels really good to make a video and talk some Destiny with you guys and gals. I know that Redrix has been talked about a lot, but I did want to get my thoughts on it. I'm gonna have a full breakdown once everything is final and the dust settles, and ShadowKeep is gonna have a lot to talk about. I'm stoked. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you for your support. I do want to know if any of you have taken the Redrix out for a spin lately, and what do you think about it? That counts for both console and PC players. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am Coolguy.